So it is being recorded. Thank you. Just started recording it. Now, we all know that a program such as one dedicated for dividing two numbers can divide any two numbers if written successfully without any syntax errors. However, the rule of division has one known exception. And this exception is simply dividing by 0. Usually, a runtime error will happen if the user enters 0 as the divisor. It is the role of the programmer, to handle this exception. So, what is the definition of an exception? Simply a runtime error that causes the program to stop running abruptly. So today we're going to talk about exceptions, which is the second part of chapter 6. Now I'm going to come back to this program. And I'm going to do the following. I'm going to modify my program. Please watch what I'm going to do. Okay, let me now show you what the result is going to be. So let's say, just before I run the program, I just need to make a note of something. Okay, now let's run the program. So this time I'm just going to enter 15 for the divisor and 0 for the dividend. I still got the error for some strange reason, but I tried to avoid this. Yeah, this should be better now. Now 15 and 0 cannot divide by 0. So this is a better, at least a better way of handling the program by the programmer, rather than simply letting the program do this on its own. So exceptions should be thought out by the programmer. Any questions, anything unclear so far before we continue? Any questions? All clear. So this is doing it the good way. Now I'm going to show you something else. Now, this is where I'm going to start the new stuff. Now, this is a small program or a small function that is going to calculate the gross pay based on how many hours the person worked and the hourly pay rate, how much the person is paid per hour. So if I save this program and then simply run it, let's say the person has worked for 45 hours and they get paid 35.50 per hour. This is what their pay is going to look like. This is very simple. We all know how to do this. However, I'm going to show you something. What happens if I do this by mistake? What's the data type of hours? It's integer, isn't it? The data type of hours is integer. But watch what I'm going to do now. Look at what I've entered. 45 as a string. And I'm going to press enter. We're going to see what's going to happen. Exactly, Sarah. It was expecting an integer. Look at the value error I've highlighted. It says invalid literal for int with base 10. So this type of an exception or this type of runtime error is called value error. It was expecting something, but I gave something of a different data type. Now, how do I handle all this? How do I handle this error or runtime error or handle this exception? I'm going to go back to my program and show you something. I'm going to show you a new keyword now. And this keyword is called try. Remember, because try has a colon after it, you must indent. You must indent. And then I'm going to show you another keyword called except. And the name, and I'm going to use a name here, which is value error. Value error is the name of the exception. And by the way, you must know how to spell this name because it's called a value error, because I need to tell the program what sort of exception or what sort of error it is supposed to look out for. So for value error, this is what the program should do. Now look, I have two variables, one called hours and the other was called pay rate. Before I continue, yes, value error is almost a keyword because it's an exception type. So value error is an exception type. So if I enter either hours or pay underscore rate as strings, then this program, and also Masha'al, sorry to interrupt, except is another keyword. Also, code must be indented after the keyword try. So 3 important observations. So remember, hours and pay rate are, hours is integer and pay rate is float. So both inputs are numeric. So both variables expect a numeric input. Should I enter a string for either, then it's going to expect, it's going to show a value error or a runtime error. Okay, now I'm going to save my work and I'm going to run the program. I'm going to run the program. I'm just going to enter the normal 45 and 35.50. The program works nicely, no issues. But let me run again. I'm going to enter 45 and then look at the hourly rate. 35.50 in words. What did I get? I got an error. Hours worked or hourly rate must be valid numbers. Hours worked or hourly rate must be valid numbers. Conversely, if I do this, I got the same error. I got the same error. Any questions about this? Any questions about this so far? Yes, Masha'al?
Doctor, I hope you won't mind, but I have a question.
Of course, I don't mind. Tell me.
Doctor, what about if you want to check something like a string and
I lost you
if it's
there.
all upper or all lower,
Okay,
or if
I
it's
lost
just
you somewhere.
it's only like
Okay,
how
I want you to repeat the question.
uh, how do we do the same thing for strings to check if it's only only alpha or if it's upper or lower?
If it's alpha or upper or lower. Okay. Now we can take it at a step by step. So let me start if it's let's start with a simple example here. Actually, before I use try, let's do it the normal way. Okay, now the normal way of doing things, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to say 9, and then I'm going to enter a second value. Remember, X was a string and Y was an integer. I'm just going to say 8. What did I get? I got a runtime error. I got a runtime error that says can only concatenate str, not integer to str. So basically, although I specified a plus or an addition, it has been interpreted as a concatenation. Why? Because one of the elements was a string. One of the elements was a string. So now if I go back to my program, okay, let me now save, and I'm just going to run the program again. So remember, X was a string. Now 9, and I'm just going to say 8 for Y. Remember, 8 was an integer. Here we go. So where I was supposed to place a string, I've placed an integer. So hopefully this answers the first part of your question, Mashal. I will leave the second part to a later time during this class. Okay, now I'm going to show you a third example. Okay. Question. Am I trying to open this file? Am I trying to open this file for writing or reading? Yes, it will work, Mashal. It will work. Because remember, no, I will still get the same error because remember, the second one has been declared as an integer. So back to this issue, I'm trying to open a file for reading. And when I open a file for reading, is the file expected to be there or simply I can read any file? Do you expect the file to be there or yes? So if I want to read a file, the file should have been created before and data written into that file. Here, it's asking me to enter a file name. What is this file name? I don't know. So let's see. So I'm just going to enter a file name here. Let's say, for example, and I'm going to press enter. What did I get? I got a file not found error. I'm trying, so the error or the exception here is basically, I was trying to open a non-existent file. I was trying to open a non-existent file. Okay, let me now work on modifying this code a little bit. I'm going to modify this code a little bit. Simply, note the name of the error. The name of the error is file not found error. It's important. So Okay, let me save now and run. I'm going to try and remember one of the files I used to have here. One of the files that we created previously. I think it was called nations. Yep, somewhere has a question. Yeah, this is the non-existent one. I'll try audio in a minute, Muhammad, for you. No worries. Okay, so I'm just going to say nations dot txt. I'm going to press enter. It says you are trying to open a non-existent file, but like this file is supposed to exist for some strange reason. Yeah, this is one thing I'm trying to say. Before the input, put the input before try. Okay, maybe I should have done this actually. Yeah, you are absolutely right, Sajjad. So I'm just going to cut this because this is the time consuming bit. And I'm just going to put try here because the process that we are trying to do is the file opening bit. I already have it there, so Control V. Okay. Now, let me try one more file, sites.txt. Same thing. I think it's a directory thingy. Okay, let me just try it again for the last time. If it doesn't work, but at least I have my program working, and it does detect non-existent files. So I have the whole path here. Let's see if it's going to work. Yes, it did. Exactly. So file exception.py is in exceptions, and the text files are in files. Exactly. So as you can see, this is an existing file that I tried to open, and it did read the contents. On the other hand, we've seen it, but let's just do it for another time. Is this file existent? It says you are trying to open a non-existent file. Okay. Now, any questions before we continue? Any questions? Because I'm going to show you a different example now. Okay. Okay, so this is what this program is supposed to do. It's going to open this file named numbers2.txt, and then it is simply going to add all the numbers in the file. So I got a file here. I got an error, I'm sorry. It says Unicode error. Codec cannot decode bytes in position 2 and 3 for being truncated. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one little thing here. I don't know if this is going to work, but thank you very much. Someone is vigilant. Read lines. Okay, now as you may have noticed, now I'm going to test you a little bit. As you can see, my file does not have, any command that is going to read the contents of the file. So in this case, I need to read the contents of the file. What do I need to do here? What do I need to do here? Can someone suggest something for me? Where should the read or read lines command go? And is it read or read lines? What's the difference between read and read lines? Let me see if someone can catch this. So the problem is, I think it is to do with the location, not with read lines. It's just I'm trying to find the location of the file. So I can see it all there. I can see all the files there. But it's a matter of getting to know how to access the files. So bear with me for a second. So I'm just trying to find the location. So it's under files, numbers. Okay, maybe if I can use this file instead. This one like has more numbers. So it's called even 1 to 50. Try now. Here we go. So again, we've had the issue with I've had an issue with the escape sequence. Basically, I have not noticed this. Remember, to be able to handle the forward slash, I need to use an escape sequence. So when writing the path for the file, make sure that you use a double forward slash, one as an escape sequence and one for the forward slash itself. So this is the program here. This is our program here. Basically, the program is supposed to handle a number of exceptions. But first, I wanted to show you what the program does in nature. The program simply opens a file that contains numbers and sums up these numbers and displays the total. This is what the file does. Now I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to open this file. But not this way. Can you all see the file in front of you? Can you all see the file in front of you? Okay. I'm going to add the following. I've added 52. Now I'm going to go back to Python. I'm going to go back to my code, and I'm going to attempt and run now. I'm going to attempt and run. What did I get? I got 52, which is the string, and I'm supposed to work with integers. I'm supposed to work with integers. It's a value error, exactly. Why? Because of the 52 that I've entered as a string. Now I'm going to show you something else. Let me go back to the code. Now I'm going to enter try. This is one. And I'm going to show you something else. So as you can see, I have 3 different errors to detect. So let's run the file as it is. So the first exception has been caught. Non-numeric data found in the file. Non-numeric data found in the file. Now, if I go back and attempt and do this, I don't even have to. Let me save, and now let's run. File not found. Okay, now I'm going to show you something else. Now I've put the right path for the file. So the file should detect the 52. An error occurred. Either file has non-numeric input or file was not found. Now, if I go back and simply do this, this is the runtime error when the file is not supposed to be found. Here we go. I got the same message here. So I have just forgotten to put the bracket. So what I can say here is this exception is one for all. Or I would say this exception message catches all possible runtime errors a program may experience. So this is one good example. I have one more example to show you before you go, guys. I'm just going to copy and paste this code into a new file. Yes, because they were in the same directory here. Because I'm using a different directory. I'm working in a different directory. Okay. Now, the name of, can you see my mouse, Sajjad? Can you see me pointing to the word exceptions? Sajjad? Exceptions, can you see me? It's highlighted in blue. Okay. Now, this is called a directory. I don't have the file even 1 to 50 in this directory. But if you look below, this is a directory called files, and it has the file even to 150. So I must include the path to the directory so that the file can be located. This is why. And actually, maybe I was a little sleepy. I didn't notice this error. This is why it took me a little bit of time. Okay, now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to use an else clause. And put my print statement under it. In this situation, now I'm just going to display my whole path again. And before I do so, now, this is the exception. I have the correct path. The error that we're going to see is because of the 52. An error occurred. Either file has non-numeric input or file was not found. Now, I'm going to open the file and just remove the 52. This is what I'm going to do. I'll just do this in 10 seconds. I'm just going to delete 52 from the file, save it, and then now the file does not have the string. I've deleted the 52. Watch. The file now worked. The program worked. So I can use an exception. I can use else with an exception, and I can show you something else. It's like an if statement. So I have two exceptions now, and I have the else statement. So if there were no runtime errors, it will simply execute the program. As you can see. Now, if I do this, file was not found or file not found. Any questions for me before we end the class? Any questions for me? Okay, so guys, do not forget, thank you. You're welcome, guys. Do not forget our first review session this Saturday. It's going to be from 2:30 to 4:30. So our first review session is going to be from 2:30 to 4:30 on Saturday. I will be reviewing, the grades will come out either tonight or I'll talk about the quiz in a minute, either tonight or tomorrow morning. And you have until the 28th of January, which is only one day after your final exam, to come and discuss these grades with me. Or you can, or if you don't see me, we can set up a Zoom meeting. For the quiz on chapter 6, I'm going to open this quiz on Sunday for 3 hours. It's okay. I know 90% of you will use WhatsApp, but it's okay. Let me give you a treat for once. I will have the quiz available for 3 hours. I will send an announcement, but it needs to be completed within these 3 hours. The duration of the quiz will be 20 minutes, but the link will be open for 3 hours. Okay. And speaking of the grades, I just wanted to tell you something. I'm very happy to see some improvement in the second part. There is a lot of improvement in the coding. Some people who didn't do very well on the first exam did better on the second exam. It's out of 45. It's out of 45. So the marks on the coding part, thank you so much, I appreciate it. The marks on the coding part have seen a little bit of improvement, and I'm very happy to see this. This is why I will be doing at least 4 or 5 review sessions with you before the final exam, because again, 80% of the exam will be coding. 80% of the exam will be coding. And guys, do not forget why. انت اخر واحدة تتكلم، امورك زينة، امورك طيبة. صدق. منا خايفة قطيعة. Yes, no, there will not, it will still be Moodle, just like our second midterm. So the most important thing, guys, do not forget to bring yourselves on the 27th and your laptops with your chargers. Do not forget to come with your laptops. Okay, so I have to run to a second class right now. Thank you so much for coming, and I will see you on Saturday. Please try to attend from 2:30 to 4:30. You're more than welcome. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. And for those who are writing the lab final today, good luck and all my best wishes. Okay, guys, so I'll see you on Saturday again. Take care and all the best. Goodbye now.